crash in front, to left, right.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is a terrible idea, but we're gonna try it anyway. Fuck.
Audi. Bad.
What?
What?
They've
just restarted
the server.
Oh.
That's not going to sit well with a lot of people.
What the fuck?
Definitely wasn't reading the stream.
God, I'm not finishing, am I?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Main thing is you didn't hit anyone else.
Go right on the grass.
Yeah, go right, yeah.
Was it the curb?
Yep. It was the bus stop.
Are you any damage on the left, on the front right?
I think we're good.
I think it's fine. I just bounced a bit.
We'll have some optional suspension and stop, but that'll be it.
Sounded like a bus fucking ran over you.
I almost lost it in the wall.
Yeah, no, you did an excellent job catching that.
It was just the desk.
Nicely manoeuvred. Oh my Christ!
Fuck me!
Damage.
Oh yeah, like front, but
Okay.
that could have been a lot worse.
Oh my God.
You're right, Jimmy. They're going to restart it again, are they?
No way.
I missed. What the hell? I missed that.
It was the biggest pile on MC I've ever seen.
Ridiculous.
It's about 20 cars all in.
They're still recovering. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That was Euless as well.
Crash ahead, again. Rear, the other one.
Up. Oh,
Go.
no. Dan. No. What?
Oh shit.
Dude, we're gonna get disqualified. Dan.
Dan. Slow down, get back.
What the hell happened there?
I don't know, you got kicked off of the thing. And
Want me to come into the pits to serve it?
I think we're good.
You're on stream, Jamie. Don't fuck up.
Oh, don't tell me that.
If you do fuck up, make it really spectacular.
Yeah.
Well,
I want double digits.
Then never race an hour again. What you meant to do? This is great. This is exactly what I wanted this to be. So see, this is sounding an absolute bitch.
I love those. I love it about Formula 1. Half the time it's some old bloke like, oh no, it needs to sound like a 1974 DFV or I'm not interested.
Well, good evening everybody. Welcome back. I've managed to tear myself away from my McLaren playthrough in this game, because I'm loving the game apart from some pretty serious issues, but I'm sure we'll bring those up tonight. And we jumped back into our Aston Martin save, which has not gone well. I say not gone to plan. We knew it was going to be tough, but it's not been much fun so far. This Aston Martin car is an absolute dog. Let's switch over to the actual game. That might help. There we go. And yeah, we got a lot of work to do. That's pretty clear. But I guess for a playthrough, that's probably a good thing. We've got some longevity in it, that's for sure. We obviously got Oscar Piastri replacing Lance Stroll last time out, and I don't think we finished higher than 17th so far. No, we might have got 16th. I might be wrong. We might have got 16th place actually last time out in Australia. But yeah, a lot of work to do. We do have 2 massive upgrades. Well, I don't know if they're going to be massive, but they're going to be upgrades. The first upgrades on the car since we took over. We've got a front wing due in 3 days and underfloor in 5. And we're probably going to produce those as emergency parts, because I can't bear another race without some upgrades on the car. See if we can try and make some progress. So the next race is Imola in 11 days time. So we'll check through after Australia what we've got coming in then. So we've got a minor technical change vote for next year. Cooling focused or airflow focused? I would say airflow focused. That should make it easier to race, right? Right. Sure, we'll vote for that. Difficult race indeed. Was indeed, Patrick. But not much we can do about that. Right, so we need to get to our parts. There we go. We've upgraded the hospitality area. Correct. That's the one we're waiting for. New front wings. Now I think we put a lot more points into the underfloor. The underfloor was our Monaco spec floor. I've since found that part development is a little bit broken at the moment. And once these 2 parts are built and we build the next part, I'll show you why it's broken. No, it is broken. And it's quite easy to cheat the system. Or I don't know if that's by design, but there's been a lot of complaints about it, saying that it's not really how it should work. But after me giving them great plaudits for getting it correct, they then mucked up the balancing of it. But anyway, there's a lot of balancing things in this game that need a lot of work. But we have those front wings then. So we want to build them, which is the part of the part development that they got right. So the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola will be on the 22nd then. So we could actually just get these through with a normal. I think that's the race date, so I think we want to be a bit quicker just to make sure we've got the second one ready. We could do 3. We'll need 3 in case, you know, our young rookie and Oscar Piastri. I can't for a minute imagine Sebastian Vettel would have an accident. But yeah, we want a 3rd one ready. But I'm not so bothered about having it for the race. As long as we've got 1 on 1 car, we know if it works, right? So let's go ahead and get those built. And then we can start another development project. And I can show you what I mean about it being a bit broken at the moment. So we've done the front wing, done the side pods. The biggest change you can make, but it's also the most time consuming and costly, is the chassis. But we need big upgrades on this car now. We're in trouble. We're so far off the midfield. We need some pretty big upgrades. So, considering this refreshes in 18 days, we're going to put everything we have into a new chassis. So we can put all our wind tunnel hours, all our CFD, and it's still not a massive improvement. Now this is where, so these sliders I presume was supposed to work to make the car better in certain areas, right? What people have found is if you just go all the way to the right, it's such a big benefit everywhere. Our cooling's not as good, so it might wear our engine a bit more. But all the things that matter for lap time, low speed, medium speed, high speed, is if you just go all the way to the right, it gives you the biggest upgrade. So if anyone knows different, let me know, but from what I've seen so far, that seems to be the consensus. You just whack everything to the right and it's generally the best part. So this isn't going to give us a massive boost, but we need to make progress where we can. So let's put our remaining engineers onto that. Let's rush it. I mean, we've got so much money at the moment. It's another issue with this. I don't know why Intense is longer. It feels like that doesn't need to be there at all right now. We're going to rush it because, I mean, money seems... Unless I'm missing something when we get to the end of the year, we're suddenly going to need a lot more money. It seems quite easy to come by in this game. So we're just going to rush that straight through. And that actually... if we go back to that project... That chassis will probably be ready for Monaco as well, so we might be able to add that to the Monaco spec car. But that's all we need to do for now. Facilities. I want to upgrade the team hub because I want to make it more attractive sponsor and get some experience gain for our staff, because I want to see how much they develop before next year. Before we potentially change them out. And this part where I want to do the wind tunnel as well. Let's get everything level at that level 2. And then we're good to go. So if we continue on. Our suspension is getting low. That's fine. I can't really imagine. If they ever crash, they ever crash. The second suspension is the one the game builds for you. It's not massively better anyway. We want to keep our manufacturing clear for the underfloor being completed now. There we go. Right. I don't know how much difference this is going to make, these parts, but it's going to be interesting to see. And I just like the fact we're starting to get some new parts on the car. We're starting to make some progress. So let's manufacture 2 of those. Let's rush them. So this is one I think I'm going to go emergency. It's going to cost us a fortune, but I want a package on the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. We're telling him to work 24 hours in the factory. We're offering them free McDonald's delivery. We're doing everything we can, and it's unfortunately going to cost us a lot of money. But I want 2 of them. By the way, it's a very broken feature, considering how unbalanced money seems to be, that you can just instantly build them if you spend more money. But for the purposes of this, we're quite happy that feature's there, so that we can just have a first race of the stream that hopefully we're a bit more competitive. I'm not suddenly expecting us to jump to the top of the midfield, but if we can be in a position where we're not racing Williams anymore, and we can at least... try and beat a few cars in the midfield, then brilliant. That's a good start. And then we're going to move straight on to another new part. So we want the rear wing now. So you still get an improvement even if you run out of ATR and CFD. You can still improve it without those available. It just increases how much it improves. So we're going to again just move all the sliders because really don't see this part. So it seems to move those down, but when you look at the bigger picture, like, you get a much bigger increase if you just go that way. So we're going to do that. We're going to put our remaining engineers on, and we're going to rush it again because we just I'm worried we'll have a board review about 8 to 10 races in, and if we haven't scored a point by then, this might be a very, very short save. So let's just kick on and get into the race then. So what's opened up now, we won't be bothering with it just yet. Teams voted, so it is airflow. So they're going to be less sensitive. So they should be able to follow better. Although the current DRS situation in this game doesn't really matter. Right. What that opens up, which again we won't do now, so it opens up in April every year, is this research. So we can't go into it yet because we're using both the slots, but essentially at any point after April you can switch your focus to next year by developing what are called research projects. They're basically parts for the next year's car, and they develop exactly the same way as the design. So we will go fairly early. I want to get the car into a midfield where we can, at least if we have good races, take advantage of strategy, we can start scoring some points. Once the car's at that level, and I'm happy we're going to meet our objective for the season, as early as possible, we're going to switch into not designing new parts and just purely researching for next year. Because we need to hit the ground running next year. I feel that's where the big improvement is going to come. Right. Manufacturing completed on the new front wing, so they will be on the car for Imola. Scouting complete. I mean, that's one the game suggested. I really have no interest in bringing in a 51 rated F3 driver at this moment, even as a reserve. At the end of the year, we'll get rid of Hulkenberg. Just because he's costing so much, and I'm not happy with him. We offered him a race drive at the end of the day. He said no. So what's he doing there as a reserve if he won't take a race drive? Or ask for ridiculous things. Right, we're not going to guarantee anything because I have no idea how we're going to go this weekend. But we will get the new side pods on. No, it's the underfloor. Idiot. Some new underfloor on both cars. Nice. And then what was the other thing we did? It was new front wing, wasn't it? Yeah. We actually have some parts on the car. Hopefully, this means we can make some progress. I think, yeah, everything's okay there. I might just change the gearbox on both cars just to help a bit with performance, so we get the best representation we can of the upgrades. And I'm sure we're going to take some penalties anyway as the season goes on, so I don't really have a problem with that. And we are good to go then. Let's go to the race weekend in Imola. I'm excited. We have some new parts on the car.
The hills of Tuscany are green to the south, but here in
hopefully,
Imola, the air is red hot. Welcome to Ferrari's turn
we can
for the Emilia
just be
Romagna
more
Grand Prix.
competitive, right?
The track has been around
Even if we don't reach the midfield in this, just with
race
these two
was held
upgrades,
here in
if
1980.
we can,
Let's see what excitement lies ahead this year.
you know,
This is Imola.
just
and
move
it's an
forward.
old-school
If we're
track
closer
with
to
plenty
the
of
midfield
elevation
in terms of lap
changes
time.
and
We've
lots
been
of
about
corners.
4 or 5 tenths
There's
off
only
in
one
qualifying.
DRS zone here, but it follows the long
if we can
straight
close that to a
right
couple
before
of temps,
Tamburello,
then we've got a good
and should
chance.
see plenty of action. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. Let's get this underway.
Okay, right, here we go. Yeah, I'm just going to let them do their thing for the first practice session, so we get a bit of a baseline and a bit of a reading. I mean, Piastri looks closer. It's very difficult to tell at the moment, but as far as practice one goes, it's not bad, not bad. Right, this is one area that I'm still really struggling with, but it's to add skill, I know, but I feel like I'm finding this so much harder to get the setups where I want them than I did in Motorsport Manager. That's probably a good thing for skill, right? Because it almost became a non-factor in Motorsport Manager because you just instinctively could change everything after you learn how to do it, and get a pretty good setup pretty much every weekend. So like here, the problem is one element of the setup affects far too many things. Cornering, I need to get back down there, but then we've gone completely the wrong way on traction again. You sort of just stumble into it occasionally, and then sometimes it's like the most infuriating dance ever. Like, don't know what I'm doing. Let's try that. That's fine. Cool. Practice 2. Looking better. Oscar's looking good, you know. Setup confidence is much higher, so that would make sense. If we can
Welcome back to what is proving
sort out the issues with some Sebs, then got every chance here. Right, traction. Let's move that a bit back a bit more. So I just want to move traction now, and you can't without affecting every. So that moves it closest. Then I think we can use towing to move that back a bit. Yeah, okay, let's go with that. This is the worst one to have out because there's no slider that... every slider that affects oversteer affects everything else in a disproportionate way. I found if you compromise by getting rid of brake stability and cornering, you can sort it out, because tow out only affects those two, so you can kind of tweak stuff back. But when it's oversteer or traction or straights, it's a bloody nightmare to try and get right. So that's okay, because we could knock it out like that and then bring that. Screw it, let's try it. That's back towards where we're definitely clear of Williams. I think we're nicely clear of Williams, which is good. It means the upgrades are working. So now,
Radio check.
if Oscar or Vettel put in a good lap,
1-2, loud and clear.
we actually have a chance now, I think, of getting out Q2. So let's just get them out early. I have to send Seb first because otherwise it looks wrong and it shows me the wrong car. I've tended to go back to automatic now after playing quite a bit on my own. I tend to go back to automatic and just leave them. Foxworth, good friend of the channel, mentioned during his stream that I was watching that it's also probably the most realistic way, right? In qualifying, it's between the engineer and the driver. We aren't the engineer, we're the manager, right? So just let them get on with it. And to be honest, I've not seen much difference. And also, when you manage them, they don't take any regard for the traffic. They just tend to blast through and forget to give themselves space. Whereas when you let them do it yourself, they nearly always find space before they start their lap. So it seems to be the best way to do it. But here we go. We've got no times on the board, so we've got no reference apart from each other. So one of them will go purple in Sector 1. It's Seb for now. Piastri going quicker then. So he's found some pace. Hey, Lord Les, how you doing, my friend? Welcome along to the stream. We've got 2 big upgrades on the car, and we might not... Well, we might have a chance to get into Q2 for the first time this season. We're about to find out. As Vettel across the line with 17.1. Piastri just over a tenth quicker. Yet again, he just continues to impress. I think it's 3-0 to Piastri in qualifying this season, which is pretty staggering for a rookie. Stroll's gone. Stroll's out of here, I'm afraid. That was our mission 1. We're essentially saying that Lawrence Stroll's gone as well. Because there seems to be no reference to him in the game, so I'm just going to roleplay that they both disappeared. Stroll probably would have been a better driver than Piastri in terms of the game rating, but you know, I'm not the biggest fan of him. So we've snapped up Piastri. We thought if everyone was getting involved in the contract negotiations, we might as well throw our hat in the ring, and we got him before the season all even started. So I've been playing McLaren so much that my instinct was to put the used tyres on, because I thought we'll easily be through. But at the moment, I mean, we were around this lap time before the 2 upgrades. Can we re-sign Stroll? Probably not going to happen, I'm afraid. Unless we need to roleplay that they've taken back over the company. But not for me, I'm afraid. I want to try and keep Vettel for a second season, but we'll see as the season progresses. He's been much closer to Piastri in the races, but in qualifying he's been beaten every time, which yeah, if he doesn't perform, then we might have to look at replacing him as well. But for the moment, need to concentrate on getting this car into the midfield. We're not going to go and start getting podiums and wins this season. That's going to be for next season's car. That's where we're going to put more effort. But we need to get the car competitive to a point where we can at least score points on a regular basis, or on the odd weekend, to meet our targets with the board, and then we can start putting all the focus into next year's car. You know what, it's looking a lot better. Some quicker times going in now, but the track's going to be better. If I was feeling a bit more confident, I'd almost put the used tyres on again, but I'm not feeling that confident. Reserve is currently Nico Hülkenberg. It's a funny story if you go back and watch the first stream if you wanted to, but I'll tell you now anyway. We offered Nico Hülkenberg the race seat, but he wouldn't accept anything less than a 1-year contract. A 2-year contract, sorry. He wouldn't accept a year. Which I feel is madness. Like, if Nico Hülkenberg suddenly got the chance to have another season, he wouldn't care if it was a 1 or a 2-year contract. He certainly wouldn't reject it based on a 1-year contract. And it pissed me off so much that we went and got Piastri instead. I liked the idea of having Hülkenberg back once again, but well, we didn't sign Stroll, obviously. He was already at the team when we took over. Issue for Russell. I don't know if that's a penalty. I've seen it in qualifying a couple of times. Right. What can you do, boys? There's a very, very real possibility we can get out of Q1 for the first time this season. The track's getting better, so I feel they're going to need a bit of an improvement. We might give him an FP1. I kind of vowed never to let him drive our car because I was so wound up that we were offering him like a 5 million contract and he wouldn't take a year. So instead we got Piastri for 2 years for 1 million. Saving so much money. But maybe we'll give Hulk an FP1 session. I'd like to see where he stacks up. Against maybe Vettel. Vettel's the one that's been struggling in terms of 1 lap pace anyway. But improvements for both drivers at the moment then. So yeah, real good shot of getting through to Q2. It's going to be Vettel that crosses the line first then. Piastri getting a nice toe off him as well. As Vettel comes to the line. Don't think he improved. And nor did Piastri. Well, that's disappointing. Did they hit traffic and I missed it? No. Well, Vettel, for some reason, didn't end up setting a time or a final sector.
Okay, and all the way to 0. All the way to 0. Car off.
I'm perplexed. Yeah, we could roleplay that Vettel's got COVID, I guess, and put Hulkenberg in. What, you want to see a whole race weekend from Hulkenberg? Okay. Maybe. Vettel's out. Why didn't you improve, lads? It was all looking so good. We had a car that could compete, finally. Piastri might sneak through here. It's going to be Tsunoda that could ruin our day. He hasn't. And it's to Williams. So Piastri is through to Q2 for the first time in his Formula 1 career. Sebastian Vettel gets knocked out in 18th, and it's business as usual for him. Hulk smash with Piastri. We'll see. We'll see. At the moment, I need to concentrate on trying to get this car remotely competitive and to try and get a point on the board. That kind of performance from Sebastian Vettel will not help us. But we have a crack at Q2 with Oscar. So the upgrades have definitely worked.
Radio check. Radio check.
Is
should be green
evening,
now.
Liam, by the way. Is Yuki not doing well in yours? It is quite a tough teammate in Pierre Gasly, I guess. Yuki should develop, that's the thing. There's a lot of tools. We're going to have to go out on a used set first, so we'll do that. There's a lot of tools and like facilities you can build that will really help with driver development. So maybe give him some time, but he's doing that bad. Considering Yuki has 1 point and Pierre is averaging P8. It's quite realistic, but quite irritating as a manager, I'm sure. I knew someone would be annoyed by me getting rid of Stroll. It's obviously you, Lord West. I do apologise, but the decision is made. The book is closed on that one. We've got a whole 80 other drivers in the game we can consider. We have our lineup for this season, and we just need to concentrate now on performance on the car. Because I feel like I've learned a lot more about how to manage the races, about how to get good results, but with the car being where it was, that was never going to happen whatever we did. On today's showing, in qualifying at least, we should be able to make a race of it here. So Piastri starting his lap then. This is on the used set of super softs. So this won't be his ultimate time. We do expect him to improve second time round. What's Pierre's best result for you, Liam? Might go for Alonso. It'd be off a lot of pennies. He probably will be quite expensive. That would be one of the strangest roleplay situations in F1 Manager. Alonso goes to Red Bull Junior team with what hope of of getting promoted at some point. He still wants that Red Bull seat. 1.1 seconds off Piastri. I feel like that's not too bad, considering Verstappen and Bottas. And that's almost the same pace as his compatriot Ricardo. So Vettel to miss remaining sessions at the Imola Grand Prix. If we put him in, it won't be for a little while, I'm afraid. We need Piastri to get seat time. But yeah, maybe we'll rethink. So I'd pretty much sworn off him. The only reason he's still at the team is that it would cost me $4 million to break his contract, so I'm going to let that run down. He's open to negotiations, and I believe the best result is P6. Nice. I'm halfway through with my McLaren playthrough, and I have 1 win and 4 podiums. I'm shocked. To be fair, it's been the AI's fault a lot of the time. I guess AlphaTauri is a bit more of a challenge. It's almost like the only reason Lance Stroll was still here was his dad. There's a lot of that going around in Formula 1. Or has been.
Looks like there's been a lockup.
Okay. I got the new tyres on. Even without the new tyre run, Piastri fairly competitive. I mean, it would be a miracle if he got through to Q3, considering we've only put 2 small upgrades on the car. But looking at the times, it's not out of the question, considering he's still got those new tyres to come. So let's wait till around about the 3-minute mark. And we'll send him out for his final run. Right. There we go, Oscar lad. I'm starting to see what all the hype's about with Oscar Piastri. Only on Monaco. Would have had more points, but ran out of fuel on the last lap. Oh no. And Pierre decided to rally while in Pierre. We can be doing that. There's some interesting driver driving issues in terms of them going off or having accidents, or sometimes when there's been multiple crashes, you look at it, watch the replay back, and it's just one car that's decided not to brake. It's just taken someone out, like complete assassination. But overall, the presentation is very good, so I can't really... It's just funny to watch anyway. It doesn't really matter how the accidents happen. It's just simulating that they do happen, right? Alright, come on, Oscar. See if you can be the top Australian on the grid and maybe get us through to our first Q3 of the 2022 season. He's gone green in the first sector. It's a good start. I'm hoping he doesn't catch the back of the field, because it's a bit close for my liking, but I think we're okay. It's coming to the end of Sector 2 now then. It's another green sector. This is good news. Come on, Oscar. You can do it. Imagine Q3 already. Yuki's gone through 1 win. That's alright. Norris has done 2 in Q so far. Playthrough. They've done the same thing. I'm very confused. The same thing happened in Q2. Like green, and then it almost looked like he just stopped on the line. Okay, well, I guess we're not getting Q3 with Piastri. I might be wrong there, but it's very weird that he just suddenly didn't seem to accelerate at the line, and I wonder if that was a bug. Maybe I need to go back to manually managing them. That's a real shame, because I feel like Piastri had a lot more pace than that. He went slightly quicker than Q1, but he was definitely on for an improvement there. So, hey ho. it's 15th, it's Q2 for the first time, and more importantly, we're in touch
Welcome to race day. Before we get down to it,
with the
last minute
midfield, so I
checks
think
are
we can
being
race
made.
there.
Aston Martin performed well during the qualifying session, and they're rewarded with a good grid
Seems very
position for the
realistic.
race.
Who wouldn't want Oscar Piastri?
Haas met their potential in qualifying, and they'll be expected to make a good start for the grid. Let's see if they can make it work for them.
5 minutes I
sun
find
is
is a bit
shining bright
early,
here
Lee,
today.
because like
This is perfect
you
weather
will
for
catch
teams
the
and drivers
guys on their
alike
outlap.
to
You
show
need
us
to go,
what they're capable of.
depending on the length of the lap,
And
around
seeing
about
it all
3
come
minutes,
together
or
is
a little
sure
bit
to be a
later.
thrill. An exciting race ahead for us.
that way you
here
don't
at the
catch them when
Emilia
they're out
Romagna Grand Prix.
He might have. Maybe he's kept like an ERS override button. He's just cut it off on the line every time. Anyway, let's take a look at the strategies then. So I've got into a habit in this to just sort of do this. Get rid of everything and just start again. So one stop seems to be, at most circuits, the way to go. There's no rain. So with that, we could push all the way through. So that's option A. One stop seems to always be the way, but we'll add a 2-stop just to see. But we'll do both those strategies first. Strategy B, and then let's try a. I don't think we've got the tyres for that, to be honest. So, if we wanted to go super aggressive, then we could push all the way through the race and do a 2-stop like that. And unsurprisingly, it's slower. The 1-stop is always the better option. Let's put Seb on the hards and put Piastri on the mediums to give him a bit more of a boost. I mean, it's the same difference, Liam. So 5 minutes also works, is what we're saying. It doesn't make a difference if you catch them on the in or... As long as you don't catch them, I guess. And that. I have always said you're a racing genius. Apparently that extends to management as well. But you only have a best result of 6 with AlphaTauri. But then if you're only at 1, it's a lot earlier. Right, we're going to have them push from the beginning. We're going to have Piastri starting on the mediums, Seb on the hards, and we're going to get them to push or be aggressive all the way through. Because the tyre wear looks pretty fine around here.
We have beautiful blue
we should be
skies
okay.
overhead as the drivers line up on the grid. Aston Martin there.
Look, we offered him a
starting in the
contract.
bottom half of the
There's
grid
not much
today,
more we
so
can
there's
do.
a lot of cars between them and
I don't
the
want him for
podium.
2 years because he's 34.
And for the second driver,
of the day.
it's Sebastian Vettel. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. The teams are ready to go.
Okay, finally, I feel like we
Crowd are
have
on
an
their
opportunity
feet in
to actually race.
anticipation of this, the
After 3
Emilia
races of
Romagna Grand
absolute
Prix.
disappointment.
And it's
So we're
lights
going to be
out,
underway
and
in
away
Imola
we
then.
go.
And we're going to go on board with Vettel so that we can see both of our cars going through the first lap here then. So Vettel trying to make a move around the outside of Mick Schumacher. Have the inside line then, the outside line. His young German protege. And,
That's it.
Vettel up 1 place there. Piastri looks like he's held position in P15. We want Piastri to be making a little bit more progress as his first stint is on the mediums. We've got a split pretty much through the field, apart from Gotifi, who apparently feels he needs the soft tyres to be even remotely competitive against the rest of the field. But most of the top 10, interestingly, on the hard tyres.
So we're happy to let these tyres cool a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to pop back to aggressive.
Get back off.
We're going to stay on deploy.
Copy.
Just to see if we can pick up some more positions while we're in the traffic. And we're going to keep the fuel to high, because fuel's fairly easy to save when you're on a DRS train. Oh, massive lock-up for Sonoda. Yeah, you don't want Sonoda, mate.
Now look at this.
Liam.
It was the AlphaTauri driver.
Making mistakes left, right, and centre.
Very wide. That's not ideal.
And of course, AlphaTauri are absolutely furious. To be fair, that was quite a bad one. They should be.
Let's hope it doesn't.
So that gets rid of the car between Piastri and Vettel. So we're now 15th and 16th. We want to try and stay in this DRS train now then. We're going to move back to neutral. But we're going to keep using the fuel, because it will make almost no difference in this slipstream. Piastri is on the back of Daniel Ricciardo, probably his hero. That's how it works in Australia, right? Anybody else that's in the sport is instantly typical Yuki, eh? Yeah, there you go. It's just not cut out. Not cut out for it. But we're in the fight. We're in the DRS train. And Mick has fallen off the back of Vettel, so we're under no threat from behind. So what I might actually do here, I think we'll just sit here and save a bit of fuel. This strategy was with pushing, so we're going to continue to push.
DRS is enabled now.
But we'll turn the fuel down, because now that DRS is on, we should just be able to sit here. And we want to save fuel to be able to attack towards the end of the race. So, for the big moments, I'll go down to 1 speed. The rest of the race I'll try and do in 2. It's generally what I've been doing. I don't like going to this view, because why have a game that looks this nice and then not be able to watch it, right? At least in some respects.
Spun out. Let's take a look at the replay.
Schumacher spun all on his own then.
There's Schumacher.
It looks so weird when that happens. Where did the sun go? No idea.
That's going to be a big
yes, Haas not happy. Got it. They have got very old, those animations already. Vettel just needs to use a little bit more fuel here. He's just dropping off the back of Piastri. What's interesting is Vettel has the better setup for this as well. So I'm really shocked how well Piastri's done so far this season. Like, Vettel's struggling to hold on to the back of him. He's under a little danger of getting detached. And this is where the game gets a bit silly. Like, these DRS trains are very, very real in F1, but it's so powerful in this game that if we somehow manage to make our way past Ricciardo and Magnussen, like, you're not getting away from them. So I feel like as long as we're sitting in that slipstream, then I'm fairly comfortable where we are. Yeah, or even like some of the lock-ups are just you barely see an effect. Like, you see them lock up, but they don't actually go off the track, and then the team are like, oh shit, it's all gone wrong now. And as you say in practice, it's like it's great, like the level of detail they've gone with the garage interactions and like the podium. When you actually get your car on it, like, it's a really cool. It's like they're like 4 or 5 times longer than the F122 podium sequences. They're so much better, but at the same time, it's quite ridiculous when that happens. When it really doesn't warrant the reaction you've seen. Also, our Aston Martin boys in, I think it was in Jeddah, we came home 17th and 18th. They were jumping around the garage like, you know, we just won the World Championship. It was very embarrassing. Alright. I'm a little fed up with Danny Rick. He's dropping off the back of that pack a little bit. So we're going to use a little bit of the tyre that we've got. and see if we can move ourselves up a little bit.
Do everything you can, mate. Use overtake.
Ricardo's obviously still in DRS, but I'm hoping with the overtake it might be enough. It's not going to be enough. We've got no straight line speed at all. Okay. Drop it back, son. Drop it back. It's fine. I thought we'd have a go, but I'm fairly happy to sit here for the moment. I'm glad we're in the fight. We're normally back here with the Williams. So that shows you how much progress we've made with just an underfloor and a front wing. So with the big chassis change coming as well. And we've got a rear wing coming as well. We should really be in this fight soon. Now the other thing I've just realised, Piastri is obviously on the mediums, Vettel's on the hards. That might be why Vettel's looks like he's struggling at times to stay on the back wing. Yeah, the overtaking, it's difficult, right? Like it's scripted.
Someone's run wide.
Oh.
We can take a look now. So let's look at this. There's Sergio Perez. Going wide like that could cost them valuable time.
And cuts the Red Bull garage.
And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it
He
may
didn't
have
even
really
lose time.
hurt
Didn't
their
even
overall
lose
chances.
time. Oh dear. Yeah, that's the balance they've got to strike, right? Like, you're not actually racing in this. So the AI doesn't need to feel realistic in terms of against you. It just needs to look realistic, and sometimes it doesn't. But I think they've done a pretty good job with the wheel-to-wheel stuff. Like, most of the time, it looks very believable. Especially when you compare it to something like Motorsport Manager. Like, it's a massive difference. But yeah, there are some frustrations, definitely some balancing and some bugs. They need to balance DRS. But yeah, for the moment I've been having a blast with it, despite all those bugs. So I'm fairly happy where we are, you know, like, top of this train is Pierre Gasly. I don't believe for a second we're just going to be able to blast through here and get up to Alonso Ocon. So this 10th place is what we're fighting for here with Gasly, with Piastri and Vettel. So there's a chance, I think, of a point today, but we need to just be smart about it. We need to work our way to the front of this field. So the first thing we're going to have is our pit stops. Now there's a bit of margin to play with. So I'm starting to think that we look at an early stop. Not this early, but it will be an early stop. So we need... so changing tyres, we'll need a 28-second delta. So, I mean, if the gap to the Williams guys gets to 28, then we know we can pit. Likewise, at the moment, we'd come out about 15 seconds behind them, which isn't going to affect us. Whenever we pit, and it'll be with Piastri first, we just want to box, full attack mode, full fuel, full deploy, and see if we can get past this this group. Hamilton and Carol Lewis from Alpine and AlphaTauri, are they staff members, I presume? I haven't looked at staff yet. It probably is the next thing we need to do, because I've got a feeling Aston Martins aren't very good. And that could help our parts that are being developed be a bit better. Right, Vettel is getting detached again. The last thing we want is for him to be out of that DRS zone. So let's just use a bit of that, get him back into it. We'll stay on board with Vettel because it means we can see Piastri at the same time. So the stop for Piastri would be coming about that 27 currently. So we've still got a good chunk of time before we can think about doing something different. And this gap is being widened by about a second a lap at the moment. So what we'll want to do is try and get that gap to 28 seconds. Then we can make a stop. So there was a patch on day 1 of on the 25th, Liam, and we're all expecting a pretty big patch on actual launch day, which is what, the 30th? Tuesday, I think. So hopefully that will be the big patch that starts fixing some of these bugs and maybe rebalances it a bit. There was a day 1 patch for the early release. Didn't have the biggest number of fixes, but at the same time nobody had really played it then, apart from a few influences, right? So that's where it's quite useful to have that early access period, because you then allow the people that bought it early to flag up all the obvious bugs before the actual game's released 5 days later. It's not early access, remember, it's paid beta testing. That's how these things work. It's just a pre-order tactic, right? So many games do it nowadays. It's like you pre-order it, you get it on the 25th, and it's like, if you buy the game, you get the game. Well, that's the same anytime it's out, right? So why? What changes on the 30th when it's actually out? Nothing. Anyone who buys it still gets the game and can play it. Right, let's just push up a little bit again. Piastri just a little in danger of dropping off that DRS. We're not exactly hounding these two guys ahead. So
Sounds like someone's locked up.
we've definitely Schumacher again. We don't see that. So we're definitely closer, but we're not like right in there with the guys ahead. But with a clever strategy today, I think we can get Gasly. We can get 10th. Because the AI don't think outside the box too much. One thing I've noticed, there's a 3 or 4 lap spread, maybe at best, in terms of when they pit against the strategy, but they don't cover very well. For instance, if you stop early and you're suddenly a 1.5 seconds lap quicker, the AI don't spot that and cover it. So as long as we've got the pace in clean air, then I'd be fairly confident we can get the undercut here. What's worrying me a bit is our fuel consumption, because in the DRS train this should be cutting back a lot quicker. Vettel's coming down quite a bit now, so it is getting back there, and it sort of comes back naturally. Gasly really the cool thing, what we're in. Oh, Piastri getting a little closer. Kind of good on tyre life, and we're going to be coming in early anyway, so
Come on. Lovely.
might give it another go on Danny Rick here. He's left a little gap in front of him. It can't hurt to slot a place forward in this train. Come on, Oscar, what have you got? I thought he swerved into the wall there. Very violent moves. Is he going to try the dummy on old Danny Rick, or is he going to try around the outside? Yeah, he's just not quite good enough on the brakes. We'll keep deploying for the moment, just in case. There's not really a braking zone here. So, yeah, not quite able to get it done, and we'll drop back down again. It's worth,
Safe fuel, safe fuel. Copy.
it's worth a look every now and then. But I say we're going to have to do this on strategy, I think. Vettel's going to be the tough one, because He's not really going to be able to undercut because he's on the hard tyres. He might be able to undercut Norris and Joe. But Piastri, we're looking at Gasly, Magnussen and Ricciardo here that we need to undercut. So let's go back to the back of the train with Vettel. You know what, Red Bull really, the game really did Perez dirty, didn't they? Like, Sainz is right up there in the DRS train with Verstappen. Perez, just nowhere. But again, it shows how broken the DRS train, because as soon as you get dropped out of it, that's the kind of gap that develops. Because these three will just be swapping positions pretty much every lap. Right, so that gap is at 19 seconds to Tsunoda. Tsunoda's got past Albon now. So we need a few more laps. Or we might just have to pull the trigger anyway and try the undercut. I kind of want to attack, but at the same time I feel like we just continue playing the small game. We just keep sitting here. We save the fuel to be able to push hard on the undercut. See, at the moment, we would come out 19th. So we need 28. I don't think we're going to overcut. We're going to get out ahead of Tsunoda. If we can get out ahead of Albon, then the chance of an undercut is much more likely. If we get stuck in the DRS battle with Albon and Schumacher, we're in trouble. Come on, mate. Look. Same. Like, for the purpose of the stream, I'm going a bit faster, but my McLaren save I've played, what, like 30 hours so far, like race 10. Because, yeah, you really do just enjoy watching it. It's... I was a bit, not worried, but I always thought the graphics, the presentation don't matter that much, it's about what's romantic. I really do add so much to it. I do feel like you're sitting there watching this. Just watch, as you say, just watching your car out on track and going to do practice laps. Evening Polecat, how are you doing, buddy? Yeah, Stroll's gone. He's out of it. Day one. He was out the door day one. Almost 20 and you're only at one for practice. I know why they haven't, but what I would have... What we really need, because I feel like after the first couple of seasons, that element of it's going to get quite old. I feel like we need to be able to change the livery in some way, just to make the cars a bit different after the first season to look at. We'll give you that option. I mean, Create a Team is obviously the one that we hope they put in. Then you can do a fully custom livery. But I feel like that element will rub off at some point in terms of the wow factor. Maybe it won't, because I'm in the same position. I've just sat here and watched it. Most of the races I've done in real time, and just had like Netflix or something open in the background. Yeah, well, if Lawrence Stroll was in the game or it referenced him anywhere, then I was going to try and make up some kind of different storyline. But because he's not, we can just basically say that he's sodded off as well, and therefore there was no reason to leave Stroll here. We're going to go one more lap.
They'll come to us.
Right. So use the fuel, Oscar. Is Sonoda pitted? Oh no, he went off, didn't he? He went off early on. I think it's Gazzy that's just dropped back through the pack. I was like, what? This order looks different. That's what's happened. Right. Microphone sound is a bit low. Well, my mic is at maximum, so what I probably need to do is turn the game down. But thank you for telling me, Bobcat. That's helpful. Right, hopefully the balance is a bit better between the two there. I have changed, been playing my own save since the last stream, so I probably turn the volume back up. Right, let's finish harvesting. Right, we've got to roll the dice here, right? There's no difference to me in Formula 1 between 10th and 11th and 20th. Vettel, wait, he's literally boxing this. Wait, why? Huh? Did I not?
Box.
Am I going mad? I swear we told him to box. Very confused. Very confused. Not gonna lie. It's gonna be close with Mick. We might get ahead of Albon. I don't think we'll jump Mick, but we should be able to dispatch them fairly quickly on fresh tyres. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that at some point. Okay. I guess let's go a little bit more. We'll go back to the track camera. I think I had the volume a lot lower before. The mic is literally on 100%, so it's definitely the game that I need to change. Is that better? I don't think the mic goes off anymore. No, it doesn't. Oh, they're all boxing. Oh, so this would have been an undercut.
You can stop lift and coast. Copy.
Feels bad, man. We've just fucking pit lane bug. That's not as bad as I have had it. I have had 15-second stops in this game. Oh, okay. Well, our hope is with Vettel now. Now that he's in some clean air, maybe he can see what he can do. I think I'm going to get him to attack.
Pushing now.
And see what kind of pace he's got. Piastri's, with that late release, has dropped off the back of the field, so we need to get him back into that DRS as quickly as possible. Yeah, agreed, but like I understand why there's not.
Yeah, take it easy.
Because like it's such a big undertaking to make this game from scratch anyway, right? Imagine if you had multiplayer as well. But it would be a massive thing for them to add in the future. But then people have been saying that about Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo for a long time. Frontier have never done it, so we'll see. It would be great, but I've always felt it can't be that hard to do, right? I mean, Football Manager and stuff have managed it. Pace is not good on these hard tyres. I think that DRS train was flattering us a little. Well, he's starting to catch them now. What we need to keep an eye on is Vettel's time in comparison. So we need them to complete their first lap. But now he's been released. He's up to a 20.4. He's quicker than Norris and Zhou ahead, which is good. But they have also disappeared from him. He's lost that DRS train. 20.9 that time around. And we'll get the first time on the board then. Just back those tyres down a little bit. So it's 20.5. So Vettel currently isn't going quick enough. I mean, he's quicker than Ricciardo and Gasly last time around. So his pace is good enough at the moment, especially if these guys start fighting. Right, Piastri is now in this chain, and now it's a bit more broken up. We're going to leave him on attack and just see if he can make some progress. Just this is what I've got right now. Good. Good. That's good. I'm hoping that noise will go in a minute. I told it to close and restart, and I've now got two versions of the game running. Good. Just a casual game crash, that's good. At least you'll reset and get the undercut back. I guess. That's frustrating. I'd hoped that we could run on Ultra again, because I've been running the game on Ultra without any issue for like 30 hours. But last time we had it on Ultra and streamed, we also had a crash. So I think, unfortunately, you probably can't tell too much from the stream anyway. I think we're going to have to go down to high. That's a shame. Hopefully it's the race it goes straight back into. Yeah, it does. Damn. Okay. I think we'll keep it the same way round. I wouldn't really change anything apart from we just want to get that undercut working properly this time. So we'll go hard mediums for Vettel, and then medium hard for Piastri. Okay. Cool. Well, we need to go again. We've been going nearly an hour. Well, an hour 15 now. So I'm going to whack it on the brake screen quickly just so I can go to the loo and get a drink. And then we'll jump back into Imola Part 2, I guess. So allow 3 or 4 minutes and we'll be back for the race.
Oh, crash in front. To left. Right.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is a terrible idea, but we're going to try it anyway. Fuck. Audi. Bad.
What?
What?
They just restarted the server. Oh. That's not going to sit well with a lot of people.
What the fuck?
Definitely wasn't reading the stream.
God, I'm not finishing, am I?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Main thing is you didn't hit anyone else.
Go right on the grass.
Yeah, go right, yeah.
Was it the curb?
Yep.
Yep. It was busted up.
Are you any damage on the left, on the front right?
I think we're good.
I think it's fine. I just bounced a bit.
We'll have some optional suspension and stop, but that'll be it.
Sounded like a bus fucking ran over you.
I almost lost it in the wall.
Yeah, no, you did an excellent job catching that.
It was just the desk.
Nicely manoeuvred. Oh my Christ!
Fuck me!
Damage.
Oh yeah, like front, but
Okay.
that could have been a lot worse.
Oh my God.
You're right, Jamie. They're going to restart it again, are they?
No way.
I missed. What the hell? I missed that.
It was the biggest part.
Right, let's try that again, shall we? Why's my camera gone back to flicker mode? Can you not? There we go. Think of it as red flag. Exactly, Liam. A red flag that's also reset the race to 0. But we get a second chance off the line at least, so we might get better luck this time. Right, the Emilia Romagna Imola GP Mark II.
As the drivers line up on the grid. Taking a look at the Aston Martin, with their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. And for the
It's good to know we've got pace, so if we can get in that DRS train again and get the undercut right this time.
A fair bit of ground to make up. The teams are ready to go.
The only thing that worried me was, why is Seb's in the wrong car? He's got...
All eyes are on the race here.
Can someone tell Seb he's got into Oscar's car? Well, for the second time today then, we're underway at Imola. With a vaguely competitive car at last. Let's see what we can do then. Oscar Piastri on the run down to turn 1. Doesn't look like he's made any progress. Vettel's gone backwards, which is not great. But he can sweep past the outside of Mick Schumacher there. He's going to have a look at Tsunoda.
That's it.
Oh, Tsunoda dive bombing Piastri. Need to fight that one back, son. Come on.
With a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Yeah, his back's out of it. That's the one thing I don't think quite has been His qualifying pace has been very good so far, Tsunoda. Piastri, sorry. He needs some development in his wheel-to-wheel stuff, because he's not great at overtaking at the moment. Yellow flag in sector 3. There's a car over on the left. Is that a Ferrari? It is. It's Carlos Sainz.
Was that a lock-up on the track? Let's take a look at the replay.
That was a proper look-up. Oh, he's just gone straight on, and then he's going to stop. Because why would you not, after locking up in that situation? You wouldn't try and get going again, because that would be logical. Ferrari not happy. Right, we're going to keep deploy on for one more lap, just to see if we can make up an X. Yeah, I don't need a replay of that. I think I know how that will look. It's us going past the stationary car. Right, come on, Oscar. Second time lucky. Let's get past Yuki. He hasn't really decided which way to go. Dummies 3 or 4 times. I know you can only move once defending. I don't know how many times you can move attacking. As many as you want, apparently. We've got heavy rain in Monaco. Nice. Have you had a wet race yet, Liam?
Drop back a bit.
They are, they're intense, to say the least.
Yeah, take it easy.
Copy.
Well, it's not completely take it easy. I mean, you're still pushing. Only rain in practice. Okay. Do you want advice for wet races, or do you just want to experience it for the first time? FYI, my first wet race, I made 7 stops. Because I got some things very wrong. I think it's probably better if you just experience it. I mean, you've already said you're a genius when it comes to strategy, so I would expect you don't need any help. Okay, so I think we're in the same position as last time, 15th to 16th, so it's no better or worse. The issue is the gap is developing in front of Ricciardo in P12 rather than P10 like it was last time. So it means realistically the undercut range is 12th at the moment, which isn't good enough to get ourselves a point, but we'll see. Long way to go, and hopefully we can just find the get to the end of the race this time without the game crashing. Late move from Piastri. Oh, I couldn't go back onto. Oh, and he's let Vettel past.
Doing a good job. Keep pushing.
Okay. Like I said, Piastri needs some development. He's blisteringly quick in qualifying. His racecraft leaves a lot to be desired. 1/6 is into, I think. You see, I didn't know that, and you're talking about millimeters of rain on track, right? The thing you've got to be careful of is how quickly it changes. So there's a case to be made for skipping a compound out completely. That's all I'll say. Right, come on, Seb. You've been very disappointing so far this season. You're finally ahead of your teammate. See if we can push up and pass Tsunoda. Yeah, we need...
Get back off.
Copy.
Might have actually had a chance there. We need straight line speed. I think that's our problem with this car. We've got more downforce now with the upgrades because we can actually match them on lap time, but I know Tsunoda had DRS as well, but with deploy we should still be getting up alongside. So I think we're a bit shy on the straights. Forecasting centre, yeah, I mean, it's good to know ahead of time, but it's the strategy that mucks me over. I mean, I just had a meltdown the first time it rained. I think I still came home like P11 and P18, but I made 8 stops, whereas 7 and 8 stops, whereas the rest of the field made 2 or 3. Right, let's try a deploy. Because deploy gives slightly more than defend, which is what Sonoda might be on.
Look at that! They've run wide!
Zhou's gone wide then, that's why there's a bit of scrap up ahead. Yeah, we got no straight line speed, man. If they're not in the DRS train, then it might not be as much of an issue. Right, we need to bring that fuel back under control now. Some lift and coast
will help that. Copy.
And same strat as we tried in race 1. We're just going to sit here and then try and strike the undercut. Luckily, Ricardo's closed back up, so this train goes all the way up to P9 now. So the undercut would gain us points if we can make it work. Now, everybody stopped quite early last time, so I think we're going to have to go super undercut to get the desired effect. Oh, mate, the AI in the pit lane in general is shocking. Monaco, I didn't notice it specifically, but I can imagine it could be wrong. But yeah, one race I was P4 and P6, and double stacked the cars because I had to, because it was raining. And they came out 18th and 19th. They just waited for the entire field to go past in the pit lane. Needs a bit of a fix, which I'm hoping we'll get on Tuesday. Right, Piastri once again trying to make a look, but whilst we're in this DRS train, there's not much we can do. We can try and pick our way to the front of it, but it's going to be tough. We're going to have to just rely on the undercut, and vice versa, the overcut for Vettel. In terms of tyres, a lot less on the hard tyre this time round. At least where we are, a lot of the top 10 are on it. So it's going to be Vettel and Guan Yu Zhou that are going to be carrying on. So I feel like either way we're covered here. If going longer on the other tyre works, then Vettel's in business. If we undercut with Piastri, then he's in business, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, I mean, I love it, I think it's a brilliant game. It just has a lot of bugs at the moment. Like the pit lane stuff is very annoying. These DRS trains look quite realistic at the moment, but the big issue with them is if you get to the front of the train, even if you were say you're on different tyres and you're 1.5 seconds quicker, you get to the back of the car, overtake it, and then they just stick with you. You can't pull away because the DRS is so overpowered. So there's a lot of balancing that needs to be done. Some of the garage scenes and like the way stuff is cut together is really janky at times, but like for a management game, I can't believe we have a management game of this quality. Like, it looks and feels amazing. For the most part, the racing is epic. It can produce some ridiculous races when it rains, especially. The management element is a little simple, but is plenty in depth enough to keep you interested. And like Liam's been saying earlier, and I've said, it's to just sit back and watch a race. The fact that a couple of races I've just watched in their entirety because they're great fun to watch kind of speaks for itself. But it's expensive, is the only thing I'll say for a management game. So maybe wait for a sale and for a few patches. You know, it's not going anywhere, and it's only going to be a better product in a month or so. But yeah, if you enjoyed Motorsport Manager and you like management games, like it's a brilliant first effort from Frontier. Okay, Vettel getting a little closer. I kind of just want to save this fuel right now. I feel like if we really push for 4 to 5 laps, we might be able to get to the front of the field, but I'm perfectly happy to be sitting here right now, to be honest. Especially with Vettel. Piastri could do with being a few positions up, but CDK is a pretty good price. Yeah, that's not a bad call as well. Well, I will say, you know, supporting developers directly is not a bad thing, because we want this to be a yearly series or, you know, a regular series. And when it goes on CD key sites, it doesn't really directly support them, but I guess someone's got to have bought it somewhere, so you still do it, kind of. But I do agree, like the 45 quid or 40 as it is on pre-order at the moment is still quite a lot for a management game. When you take into account Motorsport Manager, at the moment is like a tenner, and when it launched I think it was only like 20 quid. But yeah, the level of realism on this, like people have been saying, like, I've seen it quite a lot, they're like, just play Motorsport Manager with mods. It's like, it's not really comparable, like the level of realism you have in this. And it all being official really is a big string on this bow. I just need to keep an eye on that gap from Sonoda to Ricciardo. It's closed back up now, so as long as this is a train, we're in good shape. We've dropped Mick Schumacher. Carlos Sainz will be coming back through shortly, but we know he's not really our race today. Motorsport Manager's, I think, my second most played game of all time. I think I've got about 550 hours in it. In Steam, anyway. I loved it, but it really frustrated me in certain elements. And because you had to rely on mods for the... thinking about a move. Do you know what? Let's push. Sonoda seems a bit vulnerable here. Get as close as we can. And try a quick deploy. Sonoda's sort of closed right back up now. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. It's just someone running wide. Motorsport Manager was great, but you... Oh, go Tifu. Why do I need to... I don't need to see this. He's not even really run wide, is... Yeah, no, I don't need to see the garage. No. But you had to rely on mods to make it official, and the mods were very janky. Yeah, the F1 mods were good, but the problem is towards the end, the mod makers tried to be overly complicated, and tried adding in features that the game didn't support, and the game lost a bit of its fun with the mods. Like the Fire mod series and Fantasy mod series were great, but they were, again, way too overcomplicated. There was like an F1 Manager 2021 mod which was pretty good. That kind of kept it quite simple with some of the same game mechanics and just put the liveries and stuff in. But even that could be incredibly janky in the racing and didn't make much sense sometimes. But I'd almost say it's not comparable. Like on a management level it's quite comparable, but on just the presentation and the way you interact with it, they're not a comparison. Joseph Newgarden with Williams. That was the one good thing about those mods. They had the full suite, didn't they? So they had in IndyCar, Formula E, WEC, were like all in the same career, so you could switch between those and bring in drivers from literally anywhere and make fantasy teams. That element was really good, and obviously you're not going to get that in a official management game, which is fair enough.
We have low battery.
Yeah, okay.
Shouldn't have left that on for a lap.
Who's running wide there?
We just need to charge up.
Copy.
No saving required. Copy.
Let's just charge up a little bit with Vettel. There's no need to be doing that with the fuel. Piastri we're going short, so I'm going to go... no, he's pretty much on target with tyres, so we can keep pushing. Let's take Seb out of harvesting. There's part of me that kind of wants to ask Vettel to let Piastri pass, but I don't really want to risk those kind of team orders at the moment.
You can stop, lift and coast.
And I feel there's no real need. Yeah, I feel we in my McLaren save, like even when the car in front is in DRS, I've breezed past cars from that kind of range. So I think we're seriously down in straight line speed, which is not too helpful. Vettel's hustling here, even on the hard tyres, which is fairly decent. Let's do a little bit more harvesting. Let's see if we can do a full lap in a lower engine mode and still stay as close. Same with Piastri, he's not really making enough. Oh, he's thinking about a move. Careful, lads. That's probably enough harvesting. I'm going to let them fight because I feel like that's the best thing to do for the show, but I'm falling off the back a bit. That's why he's closed up, because he's got Carlos Sainz hustling him. So this may be an opportunity here. If Sainz starts getting stuck in with the cars ahead, and, it might disrupt that train a bit. Yuki's struggling. Well, I think that's fairly realistic, right? I think Pierre's really struggled with this year's car, but you would still say he's clearly a better driver than Yuki most of the time. It's quite a difference, though. But yeah, Yuki's the kind of driver that I feel like F1 manager, you've got to do the results type thing as well, but you also want a team that you want. It's got to fit with, like, you know, if you really want this driver in your team because you're a fan of the driver, or you like the narrative or the story of having that person there. So if you have a thing for Yuki, then stick with him, get the right facilities and the team around it, and he will improve. But you know, if you've got no affiliation to him and you really prefer someone else in the car, then yeah, he's probably not at the right level compared to Gasly, and get rid of him. Also, you want that healthy competition, right? You want someone pushing Pierre as much as possible. Carlos Sainz really struggling to get through this train as we are. Norris has sort of dropped off the back of Gasly now. So we're just in a management phase now. We just want to take the tyres a bit longer. Obviously Seb's going quite a lot longer on those. Piastri, we just want to save some fuel so that we can then undercut. So window's in 3 laps, so I'm going to pit a lap before the window because they all seem to pit at the front of the window last time, and that doesn't really afford us an undercut. So, and I think it's our only chance here. Our only chance is to undercut to the point we kind of need to be out ahead of Gasly, because our only chance is to have broken free from that DRS train. Generally what I've found in this game is that the only way you can make any kind of progress. If you're stuck in a DRS train, it's almost RNG as to what happens. Well, I'd like Verstappen, but I don't think he'd be interested. I mean, as a storyline, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Verstappen drops down to junior team. But yeah, it's probably A, not going to be interested, and B, you're going to need to spend probably your entire season's budget again. Sainz finally makes his way past, which is to be expected.
Ferrari, advance the race position.
Right, do you know what? We're going to go super aggressive. Because why not at this point, right?
Box this lap.
I don't care if this doesn't work and we finish 17th. You know, unless we get a point, it's not worth it. Whatever happens today. So, box, Oscar, and let's he should drop in about 7 or 8 seconds behind Albon, so he should have some nice clear air ahead of him. Vettel is still nicely in that train, and he's going to be staying there for another 10 laps or so at least. Right, come on boys, clean stop. Nice 2.8, decent. And now we need to give it everything. Lewis and Max, that would be some spiciness. That's the fun of this, right? You can do that.
Use overtake.
Copy.
Right, off Oscar goes. Now hopefully we'll have a couple of laps. I don't think we're going to undercut anybody over 1 lap, but if we can get 3 or 4, and I reckon that's 2 seconds a lap, maybe. If he's got pace, I don't know. It's difficult whether our car has actually got pace and clean air. We've definitely closed up to the midfield, but without seeing it in clean air, this will be the first time with Oscar. We won't really know. So Seb's absolutely fine where he is. We don't need to do anything. As soon as all the medium tyre runners come in, then we just need to make sure we close up to it'll be Joe. It's the only other hard tyre runner, and just see if we can do a bit of slipstream tennis with him. So we can get to the end of this lap so that we've got a lap time. Depends on our pace, Polcat. I don't think we've got any kind of ultimate pace with this car at the moment, even with the upgrades. We're about to find out. So it's a 1:21.1 for Vettel over the line. Sort of 21s, 20s. So we need to be in the low 20s with Oscar here. We need to be gaining a second on these guys a lap, at least half a second. So what kind of pace have we got over the line? A 1:20.3. Okay, we're going to have to drop back to neutral. But that shouldn't drop too much off our time. So we're gaining 7 or 8 temps in the first lap. So already that's got us in probably ahead of Magnussen. So if we can get a couple more laps like this, because the thing is, if we get out the DRS train at the front of it, then Oscar should be able to just back off on the tyres. They should go to the end. We don't need to find that much tyre life to get those to the end. 2 stops are very difficult in this. You don't seem to gain as much lap time as you'd hope. And because of the DRS issue, it's more difficult to breeze past people currently. Right. We've only had 2 laps. That's a shame. So they're in. Vettel can hopefully stay with Tsunoda, who's going 1 more. So this... I don't think it's going to be enough to get to the front of this, you know. So Norris was the leading car. Piastri coming down the main straight. Overtaking, give it everything, son.
Use overtake. Copy.
Norris on pit exit, Gasly on pit exit, Magnussen on pit exit. What are you doing? Why are you backing off? It didn't work, boys. It didn't work. Again, it was only 2 laps. I thought they would have. I thought they would have gone a lot longer. That's a shame. We might have jumped 1 or 2 cars, but not enough. Yeah, the 1 stop seems to be the way. I feel like the 2 stop is the kind of thing you could start trying if you have like a Ferrari or Red Bull dominant car, right? Where you're gonna have a big window that you can drop back out in, and it not really affect you. Right, we're in the DRS of Gasly, so not too bad. Tsunoda's on the mediums, isn't he? Yeah, Tsunoda and Ricciardo carrying on, so we might jump those 2. Right, with Vettel. Let's see what he's got now. Now that it's a bit more broken up, Tsunoda's out of the DRS. Let's see if we've got some pace to get past these 2. This is where the race really starts now. People start to break up. That DRS train will be gone. Piastri could probably go back to neutral now. We'll keep him on the high fuel for the moment just to see if he can find a way past Gasly. Because again, Gasly's out of DRS of Norris. Right, come on, Seb. You're a 4-time world champion. So start showing it, please. They're going to pit anyway. Okay. Well, now we need maximum pace. Maximum pace, sir. So this will be interesting. Those guys went a couple more laps. We've been tucked up behind Gasly, but we might jump Tsunoda and Ricciardo here. Here we come. Tsunoda on pit exit. Ricciardo's still not up to speed. Nah, we're not. We might get Tsunoda. No, we're not. And both AlphaTauris working together to.
This is good. Come on.
Hold us up. Now I feel this is our problem with Oscar at the moment, and it's going to take a while. Is he doesn't have the overtaking potential. I feel like other drivers that I've used in this game so far and on the grid would have been past Gasly in that outlap and then would have had a couple of free laps. Piastri, unfortunately, not able to do the business, and now these 2 AlphaTauris are going to block us in. The gaps are starting to appear though. So we're ahead of Magnussen. Well, Magnussen's at the end of this train. Mick Schumacher's stayed out then. Ocon's pitted, Ricciardo and Norris are pitted. Vettel was obviously carrying on his merry way. Still quite a way away from the stop. How's he doing on lap time? 120.1 as Carlos Sainz now holds us up. Vettel's got some pace here now we've released him. The overcut. Maybe it's the overcut that's going to do it for us here.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
There's the two AlphaTauris swap places then. We will need to back up on these tyres a bit at some point, but I feel like at the moment that's not... I feel like it's not the time. Right, they're letting Tsunoda go, Gasly go. Now, this train's redeveloping. Ricardo's now closed up to Norris. Gasly's closed up to Ricardo. Tsunoda to Gasly. Us to Tsunoda and Magnussen to us. Brilliant. Okay. Well, we've got some fuel, so we might as well keep using it. I don't want to back off the fuel just yet because Magnussen is obviously on the back of us. Seb, what have you done? 120.9. Not quite as good that time round, but still quicker than the guys behind. 21.6, 20.4, but Ocon was quicker anyway. Norris is the one I want to see. Is he over the line? Not yet. Ooh, 120.0. Okay. Not great. Yeah, so it's about 22 seconds. We need 28. We're gonna be coming out of the back of the pack. We don't have the tools today, boys. It would seem. We're gonna keep pushing with Vettel anyway, just to see, in case these guys start fighting. Piastri really should be able to get past Tsunoda here. Right, come on. Overtake. I've not really harvested you. Tsunoda hasn't got DRS. Finally. Oscar Piastri sticks a move. Good lad. Let's get on with it now, please.
You've done a good job.
Come on, get after Gasly. We'll stick it in recharge for the first half of the lap. We'll push up on the tyres again.
Great play there. They've moved up a place.
We can save at the end if we need to. So I feel like with Seb, we just need to... He's not got the pace to make that gap work, but the further we go into the race, the fresher his medium tyres are going to be compared to these hard runners, so that might help. Let's take it back out of neutral. Are we out of that DRS? Almost. We'll keep pushing for now. Actually, we will go back to overtake. If we can clear that DRS, that would be ideal. That's what we want. We want Tsunoda to drop off the back of this pack. Push right up to the back of Gasly. There we go, broken. Lovely. Right, neutral. Now we'll go harvest at the end of the straight. We'll go back to balance and drop the tyres back down.
Save fuel. Lovely.
Great, we're in the race now. Come on. Come on, Oscar. Right, Seb, we're going to need some pretty serious fuel saving at some point. But he's in clean air, so I feel like we just let him go at it for the moment. Maybe even use a little bit of overtake for the second half of the lap. I mean, Seb can go quite a lot longer. To be fair, though. Let's maybe drop that down a little bit. Just eke it out. Might help us towards the end. I'm interested in the gap that's developing between Piastri and Tsunoda. That looks like a Sebastian Vettel-sized gap right there.
Yeah, copy.
Let's harvest up with Piastri. Just see what happens in this battle ahead. Recharge's very weird. Sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it seems like it's not working at all. Like, we're in recharge mode now, and we recouped, what, 2% at the back end of that lap? Right. You don't want to lose that toe, mate. So, back onto the back of him. That Sonoda side gap is very real now. So let's just see with Vettel. It's a bit early still. 18th. So he's not cleared Sonoda and Magnussen just yet. Okay. Let's get the harvest because we might need it to attack or defend as soon as we come out. And let's have 2 full more attack laps from Sebastian Vettel, then we'll bring him in. So, Piastri on the back of Gasly. Norris and Ricciardo going at it. Very unrealistic. Norris getting past Ricciardo, I think. Use a little bit of fuel for the rest of this lap because this looks like this might get a little interesting between Gasly and Ricciardo. Vettel, I can see Vettel's losing time, but at the end of the day, hopefully the medium tyres will get that back. If we ignore, we're going one more. Right, let's get into overtaking. Just see
Use overtake.
if he can make a bit of an impression here. Gasly should get off alongside Ricciardo here. No, he doesn't. Ricciardo's just holding on to the slipstream of Norris, so we are back in the status quo slipstream train. Right, what I might do is just go back down to standard for a few laps, get that tyre life back, and then we can attack later on.
Yeah, take it easy.
We could do another with Vettel. Yeah, let's do one more. As we can, the pace isn't disastrous. It gives us one more lap of life to push on those tyres. So Piastri's still nicely keeping in that DRS train despite the fact we're now saving on tyre and fuel. The yellow flag in sector 3.
Oh, big lock up there. Here's the
Perez
replay.
locking up from
So let's
4th
look at
place.
this.
Or
There's
3rd
Sergio
place.
Perez.
Oh, he nearly took out his teammate.
Yes, there. That's the lock up.
It was almost Baku for Red Bull all over again. He has got going again, though. Right, we could do one more, but I think
We're not okay on fuel.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think we can go that long. No. Right. Medium tyres. Box, Sebastian. Box.
Box, Sebastian, box.
I didn't even know he was going to use the same radio message. That's just... We're so in tune here at Aston Martin. We know what the other's going to say before they say it.
Copy.
It's also quite a well-used phrase.
So Sebastian, we are all okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
Okay.
Yeah, copy.
Good stop, boys. Good stop. So, the gap we're targeting, I think, is between Piastri and Magnussen. If we can get in that gap, we've got a really good chance here. There goes Norris. Just behind Piastri, and we've cleared Magnussen. Perfect. Good job. We got plenty of tyre life, so let's go straight to aggressive.
Happy to push.
Going to use push and overtake just to try and get onto the back of Oscar. That was a really good stint from Vettel. I didn't think he was going to be that close. Big look up ahead, straight into the wall. Is Lando Norris? Is that going to be a safety car?
We've just had a crash on the track. Let's take a closer look.
That would have been... If there's a safety car now, that's the worst luck in the world for Vettel. Just looks up, straight on. In the wall. Did he get going again? He did, so I don't think we're going to see a safety car. That does gift us a position. Vettel's still going for it. Piastri can probably...
We're good to push.
Start going for it now. Let's overtake down the next two straights and see if we can get involved in that battle ahead. It's a very uncharacteristic mistake from Norris there. That has gifted us an opportunity. He's going to be boxing for a front wing as well, I would imagine, so he's completely out of the picture. And Piastri has now found some straight line speed from somewhere. Is he going to take the pair of it? Oh, he's alongside Gasly. I thought he was going to take Ricciardo as well there for a second.
Doing a good job, that's going to help you.
I think he's still alongside. He is. He'll keep the overtake on. He's got it to use. Great job. One more car and we're at the front of the train. Vettel's nearly at the back of it. Where's the Aston Martin pace come from in the second half of the race? Where was that braking from Piastri about 20 laps ago? We needed that. He's finally learnt how to overtake another Formula 1 car. Right, let's go back to neutral. We've said we're going to have to fuel save pretty drastically with him at some point. But it's points or bust here. Although I don't think we're getting points because Ocon's sodded off. I think Zhou's got a pit and Schumacher has, but... Right, come on, Oscar. Last car in the train. DRS open on Daniel Ricciardo. Vettel looking to make a move on Gasly as well. Oh, he's dummied him. There's a car coming out the pit lane. That's going to slow everybody up. This is another element of this game that's broken. What an opportunistic move from Piastri. He's going wheel... yeah, no. And Latifi fucks it up. And we've lost 2 positions because of that. It's so broken, that, man. Like, they... You're coming up to lap a car, and there's just no logic from an F1 driver. Like, you'd never in a million years see them back off completely when they come up on the back of a back marker. They just keep their foot in and find a way around it. It's so annoying. Not good. Right. Save a bit of fuel with Oscar. Let's go into harvest with both of them. He's not going to like this, but I think it's the right thing for the team right now. Let your teammate pass, buddy. Try and stick with him in the DRS. I feel like Vettel on these medium tyres is going to have more speed. Go aggressive with Vettel, see if he can close that gap back. Hopefully Piastri can stay with him, although we probably should have put him on push a bit earlier than that. He's lost a bit too much time, he's now under pressure from Magnussen. How things change. Like, Piastri about to make the move on Ricciardo, he would have then been in some lovely fresh air. And one back marker. The game-breaking bug. Causes him to lose it all. And now he's defending from 15th place, rather than being in 12th like he should be. Oh well. I think this has proved the right decision. Piastri, even with the same level of push, or almost the same level, he can't stay with Seb, so... I think we need to bring that fuel and the tyres back under control. We've tried the undercut with him. He was a bit of a sacrificial lamb, really. And he might get involved a bit later on, but I feel our best chance of getting some points is going to be Vettel, because we have stops from Zhou and Mick Schumacher. So this fight between Gasly and Ricciardo is for a single World Championship point. Magnussen's gone past Piastri.
All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here.
That he has. Hopefully Piastri can hold on to him though. Right, we're kind of going point or bust with Vettel here. We need to get to the back of that train. We're eating up the tyres, we're eating up the fuel. But once we get back in that DRS zone, then we can calm it down a minute and we can bring everything back under control. Piastri is holding on nicely with Magnussen, so that's good news. So let's do the rest of his saving now. Get him back in the positive on the fuel and get his tyres to the point where they will go to the end of the race. And then we can push with him towards the end. It's going to be all about Sebastian Vettel then. Just basically telling him to give it everything right now. As I say, we've got pit stops to come from Zhou and Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher will definitely drop behind Zhou. 14... It's 22 seconds, it's 28 for a stop, so we should be ahead of Zhou at the moment with both cars. So, this battle for 12th, 13th and 14th is for our first point of the season, potentially. We have a new front wing, new underfloor on the car for this race, and we're finally sort of competitive. It's a little bit more from Vettel. Let's get the harvest in now, so that when he arrives on the scene, he should be able to attack a bit, and we'll sort out the fuel later.
We just need to charge up. Copy.
Piastri trying to get back past Magnussen. That should be fairly easy to do once we've got the tyres back under control. Let's just see then if Vettel can continue that march up to the back of these two. We should be able to catch them, but it's going to be a very different story in terms of actually getting past. Do you know what? I'm going to try with Piastri for one lap to see if we can
push a bit more,
overtake Magnussen. Because I feel a bit bad for one. So we told him he'd had a brilliant race, and we told him to let Seb through, which ultimately lost him the position to Magnussen anyway. He's backing off. Why backing off. Vettel's struggling to catch you. I might go down to aggressive. I wonder if it's
Drop back a bit.
if it's the temperature. It looks like we were in harvest mode. We're going to keep the fuel high for Piastri. We need a bit more tyre saving.
Yeah, take it easy.
Alternate strategies. We could stop Piastri for soft tyres. He only dropped back behind Sonoda and maybe Albon, but I don't think there's any chance of us catching on those soft tyres. We don't have enough pace in the car, so as soon as that undercut didn't work for Piastri, it's made it a very difficult race. Stay neutral down the straight, then we're going to have to...
We're not okay on fuel.
We have to recharge. Right, Vettel's almost there. If he can just get into that DRS zone, then we're in business and we can get the fuel saving back. I don't know how we're going to pass both these cars, but that's another... This is a problem for another day or another lap. Still good on tyre life. Right, come on, Seb. I think he's in the DRS.
Get back off.
That very much looks like... There he goes, Mick Schumacher into the pits. Right, now we do the fuel saving. This is all about pouncing in the last 5 or 6 laps of the race. For the moment, we need to get that fuel back. Right, we can probably go back to neutral with Oscar. Oh, what do you think, guys? 14 laps to go. Can we get our first point with Vettel? Well, now we'll find out. Zhou is pitting. Zhou's putting on the soft tyres then, so he's going to be quick. We should comfortably clear him here. Well, I wouldn't say comfortably. Jeez. Piastri looking to make a move. He's just not... He's not there yet, Piastri. He should be steaming down the inside of him. Right, Zhou is a bit of a danger. We might not be able to wait here. Vettel's got the tyre. So I think we use the fuel. Because Zhou's going to arrive on the back of us incredibly quickly. It wasn't a graphical bug, that was... Yeah, they're brand new soft tyres. Jesus, okay. You might have pulled a blinder there, Zhou. We did think about doing that with Seb. Now we'll see if it was potentially the right option. We still need to save those tyres. Oh! Vettel going around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo. Uses his deploy. He's now out of deploy, which is a bit of a worry. But he might get a double dose of DRS now, as he's onto the back of Gasly. Please just pick one side.
Aston Martin
Oh,
with a great play
late
there.
move.
They've moved up a place.
Trying to force Gasly's hand. Gasly having none of it though. We are now one car away from a World Championship point. Got to be a bit wary of Ricciardo as well. We're going to go harvest towards the end of the lap. I think we're fine with tyre life, even if we stay in attack till the end. Piastri still can't get past Magnussen. We might need to give him a hand in a minute, but... he's just not. He's not harvesting. He's not harvesting enough. I'm currently having a brain fart trying to figure out if I should inters while everyone else has gone to wets. If I should be on the wets. So that's exactly the problem I had, Liam. I saw it raining, a little bit of rain, and presumed, okay, well surely you've got to put the inters on then. The entire grid went onto wets, and within a lap it was wet. I don't know if it should be like that, and I've had races where it hasn't done that. But when it really rains, you're better off going straight onto the wets. Likewise, when it dries out, you're better going straight from the wets to the dries when it's dry. The AI especially just don't bother using the inter in those conditions. Let's recharge. Oh, Vettel's trying it around the outside. I want him to have a go at the end of the lap, but he seems determined to have a go earlier. What a comeback this would be if we could get a World Championship point, considering how bad the first 3 races were. Our only competitors were Williams. Right. Overtake, Seb. Come on. Going to the outside. Got to get it done this time, surely. Yes, come on, Seb. Now run away. You've got half a lap to try and make DRS. I'm going to leave him in deploy. Piastri had a go at Magnussen as well. I'm still worried about his tyres, so I'm going to have to leave him on medium, even though I want to get him past Magnussen. Oh, he's nearly clear as well. That's over a second. We can get out of DRS. Don't forget Joe on the softs. I can't see him getting past these two. From my experience of the AI, I'd be very surprised if he overtakes both of these and runs away up to us. But they are soft tyres. Oh, I mean, it's out of DRS, but I wanted a bigger gap. Gasly might get into the slipstream here. Alright. I'm going to leave the fuel up because we really do need to make a gap now. While he's got the pace, but we do need to drop back down at some point. Show looking to make a move. If Joe gets past one of the cars pole cap, then he's got a good chance. But while there's 2 in front of him, he's going to struggle. Oh, is this Leclerc coming through? This might help us out, you know. Leclerc goes past Magnussen. Oh, we're going to have no hard tyres left by the end with Piastri. No, fuel's not good, Liam, but I know if I back off too early and they get in DRS, we're in trouble. Okay, let's attack on the tyres.
So we're happy to push the
So
tyres.
let's go down to
Hard,
balanced and see if that gap stays the same.
Copy.
Piastri on the back of Magnussen. Magnussen getting DRS from Leclerc though. Excuse me. Right. This could be our saving grace. If the AI have a field day when Leclerc gets there, it could really help us out. Gasly is... he's staying around 1.4 seconds. We are in harvest though, so if we go to neutral, that should help a bit. just want to. We need a slightly bigger gap. The problem we've got is if we go to low fuel now, Gasly will be back within DRS within a corner. I want to do it as late as possible to minimise the chance of him getting back in DRS before we can step on it again. Right, Piastri. He's going to have to go back to balanced. Tyres are barely going to make it to the end. We can maybe give him overtake to try and
overtake.
Get him past Magnussen. DRS overtake. He's just, you can see he's just not as confident as Vettel. Yeah, he's gonna need some development points to get him up in overtaking. Let's pop back to neutral. We can have a go a little bit later. This is our main focus. Because a World Championship point currently would draw us level with McLaren, as well as putting us above Haas and Williams. So this could be huge, as long as we can hold on to it. We're back to 1.4 now, so I think we're okay on this pace. Joe's still stuck behind. And those tyres are well past their best now, those softs. Interestingly, that 2nd through to 8th went on softs as well. Are we witnessing another Ferrari strategy with Leclerc? He's the only one on hard tyres. He is leading by 20 seconds. He's onto the back of this group that's following us now. So there goes Joe out of the way. And Ricciardo and Gasly going wheel to wheel. It's Gasly past Ricciardo. They're now going to have to get out of the way for Leclerc. Ricciardo does. Nothing weird happens there. They nearly take each other out.
We're not okay on fuel. Copy.
I might be cheeky here and overtake. So Gasly's going to have to move out of the way. Loses him some time. Let's deploy and try and extend that gap. And then we can save the last few laps if we need to. Oh, it's going to be tight, boys. Can we hold on? Yeah, she's got some fuel.
Use overtake.
She's overtake as well. Vettel still doesn't quite have to get out the way. Gasly, unfortunately, is getting DRS off Leclerc. This is a bit of a problem. He's pulled clear of Ricciardo as well. This is not good news. This is what I mean about DRS being so overpowered. It's just dragging Gasly back into it. Piastri did get past Magnussen though. Good lad.
They've moved up a place. Let's
So,
take a
just
look at the
watch the
replay.
move.
Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Yeah, he can get past someone when he does it earlier in the straight. If it's in the braking zone, forget it. Okay, so hopefully Piastri's okay where he is now. I'm a bit worried about his tyre life still. Gasly's getting dragged along by Leclerc. Vettel's now going to get out his way. Oh, it's fucked us over. It's fucked us over. Come on. It's dragged Gasly with him. Oh, we're in real trouble now. Okay, we're gonna have to. We're just gonna have to turn the fuel down.
Some lift and coast will help that.
Copy.
We have to move the tyres down. There's no way he's breaking away again at this stage. We've used too much tyre.
Yeah, copy.
God damn Leclerc. If Leclerc pits now, I'm going to be annoyed. Oh, we've got nothing to defend with.
Really?
Yeah, really, mate. Really, I'm afraid so.
We just need to charge up.
Copy.
It's not over as long as we can stay in DRS with Gasly. Though we don't seem to be able to stay in DRS with Gasly. We might have to go back up to balanced. Oh, it's all gone so badly wrong. All because of of being lapped. Oh, he's just not got any pace now. Gasly's taken off like a rocket ship.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Yeah.
Save fuel. Copy.
We're just going to have to save the fuel now. There's nothing we can do.
Okay, so
Gasly's gone.
coast.
Gasly's out
Okay.
of DRS. Ricardo and Joe are probably going to get us here.
Copy.
We knew our only chance was to
5 more
break
laps.
away,
5 more laps.
which we did. I felt we could have managed that. If it wasn't for Leclerc.
McLaren
Feels
gain a
bad, man.
position.
He's just got no pace now. I guess that's the fuel mode. He's not even saving any fuel. Maybe we weren't going to be okay. I think we did use too much fuel. Piastri's about to run out of tyres. We've been way too aggressive here. We said that's what we were going to do, but still feels bad, man. Joe breezes past. We've still got to save a stupid amount of fuel. I don't think we're getting to the end of this race.
With an overtake.
I think Vettel's going to run out here. Maybe if he could stay with Joe, he might be able to save. Piastri's back behind Magnussen because his tyres have gone. There we go. Vettel back in the DRS. Let's go back to neutral. Yeah, I know they're gone, buddy. But we'll carry on. It should be okay to Tsunoda. Just go light on them.
Yeah, take it easy.
Now we should be saving here. For some reason this number's just not moved for the last 5 laps. Normally it's quite easy to save fuel, but apparently not.
Okay, happy to lift and coast.
Copy.
Last lap for Leclerc. 2 kg of fuel, is that enough?
So this is last lap. Last lap, you can push the tyres.
Yeah, copy.
I mean, he's coming back at show, but I think he's going to run out of fuel. What happens, Lib? Do you run out completely? I've not run out yet. As in stop, or do you sort of limp over the line? I guess I'm about to find out, because there's no way he's getting to the end. Piastri's completely drops off Magnussen, but he should stay ahead of Tsunoda at least. It says he's on 0, but the car's still moving. He might get to the line here. And he will. It's going to be P13. Car just rolls and stops, so he did make it. I think considering how bad that traffic was, even if we didn't have the incident with Leclerc, we might not have been able to hold on to 10th. But it's a massive improvement. We fucked Piastri over a little bit by being so aggressive, but we need points. As we said the whole race long, 11th to 20th doesn't matter for us. There we go, he's rolled to a stop. Vettel out of fuel. Oh, so that's how much he had. Okay, he had a bit more than I thought he did. Yeah, we need points. Like, we're targeting 8th this year and focusing on next year's car. I get the feeling that we might only need 5 or 10 points to finish 8th, so it's progress. Exactly, Polka. We definitely tried. Nobody can say otherwise. And we were race 1 and 2, we were 17th and 18th. Race 3, we were 16th and 18th. With these upgrades, we're actually competitive. I still don't applaud that, guys. Someone needs to have a word with them somewhere in the team, because it just looks embarrassing. But we're going in the right direction, and that's the main thing.
Coming up next, the teams will be taking a trip to the Sunshine State.
Oh, it's Miami, isn't it? Miami, then Monaco, I think.
At the Miami Grand Prix.
So I don't think we'll have any upgrades ready for Miami, but Monaco we should. Yeah, I mean, obviously Lando had his issue, so normally he probably would have been ahead of us, but I mean, looking at the lap times, we're competitive now. We were back here. So a few more upgrades and we can start fighting for points. I think the good news is McLaren only scored... No, they didn't score, so they've still only got 1. And 8th's what we need, and nobody's scored there yet. So it's Haas and Williams we need to beat. Meanwhile, I've got Yuki down in 16th, 15 seconds behind. Well, yeah, Yuki should be doing better with that car. This car's still a bit of a dog, so if he's only managing 16th, yeah, maybe you do have cause for concern, Liam. Right, that's going to be it today. I mean, we'll double check and just summarise what we've got going on for next time. So we have a new chassis and a new rear wing. The chassis will be ready for Miami and we can rush that through. The rear wing, I mean, 30 days. Yes, that's not good. Oh, we'll be ready for Monaco. Okay, so we'll have 1 upgrade from Miami that we'll then have to carry through till Spain. And then we'll have that big rear wing update for Monaco. So we're starting to make some progress, boys. We are getting there slowly. I'm quite surprised how much progress we made in 1 race. I was hoping we would have moved a couple of temps closer to the midfield, and we were actually right in the fight. So a bit more experience for Piastri and a few more parts on the car. He's actually got a development point that we'll do next time. But yeah, it's going to be a long road. We will be back tomorrow. I think we're probably going to stream this for the foreseeable future because I'm really enjoying it. We'll probably have some iRacing and some ACC at some point next week. And I think we're doing the Daytona 24 next weekend anyway. But for the next few streams, we'll be back to daily. We'll be back to words. We'll be back to F1 Manager tomorrow, carrying this on. We might start a bit earlier because I'm off again tomorrow, so we might start early to mid-afternoon and have a longer stream and try and get through. Maybe in the next 3 races, maybe Miami, Spain, and Monaco. But obviously today with that crashing issue, yeah, it's gone on a bit longer. I'd hope to get through to today. For everybody that's tuned in, Liam, Polecat, thank you for stopping by. Lord Wes as well earlier on, and anybody watching on the VOD. Hope you guys are enjoying this game as much as I am. It's a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed the Grand Prix today as well. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, either the same time, 7 PM, or maybe afternoon. Depends how I'm feeling tomorrow. But I'll let you guys know. And until next time, take it easy.